The Badge and the Bloodline, Chapter 1. The Stop. Officer Daniel Rourke had been patrolling the quiet suburbs of Richmond, Virginia, for over a decade. A decorated officer with a reputation for being firm, but fair. At least, that's what the reports said. But the truth, known only to those who crossed him, was different. He carried an unspoken prejudice that masked itself in stops, citations, and routine checks that disproportionately targeted Black youth. That day, it was 16-year-old Elijah Carter who caught Rourke's attention. Walking down a sidewalk in a hoodie, earbuds in, not making eye contact, Rourke's radar. Buzz. You! Hands out of your pockets, Elijah. Startled, took out an earbud. Sir, ID. Now I'm just walking home. I said ID within minutes. Rourke had Elijah in handcuffs, accusing him of fitting the description of a robbery suspect. Elijah protested, confused and scared. The officer wouldn't listen. People watched, filmed, whispered, but Rourke was unfazed. He loaded the boy into the cruiser and headed to the precinct. Chapter 2. The name at the station. Elijah was fingerprinted. Rourke, still in control, mocked him under his breath. You kids think you're untouchable. Bet your dad's nowhere to be found. Elijah sat in silence, tears held back by years of being taught not to cry, especially in front of men like Rourke. Then the computer beeped. The arrest record came back, flagged. Rourke's eyes narrowed. Name: Elijah Marcus Carter. Father: General Marcus Carter, U.S. Secretary of Defense. Clearance level: TOP SECRET. Immediate contact: Department of Homeland Security. Rourke's hands trembled. That can't be right, he muttered. He rechecked it 3 times. Then his phone rang. It was the mayor's office. Officer Rourke, you need to release that boy immediately. Do you have any idea what you've done? Rourke looked at Elijah, now wide-eyed and silent. Chapter 3. The fallout within hours. The story broke. Racist cop arrests Secretary of Defense's son in mistaken identity fiasco. News vans circled the station. Protesters gathered. Rourke was placed on immediate suspension pending investigation, but it wasn't over. General Marcus Carter arrived in person. He didn't yell. He didn't make a scene. He simply walked into the precinct, looked Rourke in the eyes, and said, I've fought wars for this country. I've led men into battle. But I never thought the greatest threat to my son would come wearing a uniform just like mine. Chapter 4. The Reckoning. The incident sparked national outrage. Rourke's history came under review. Bodycam footage from past stops, complaints that had been ignored, and a clear pattern of racial profiling surfaced. He had skated by on privilege, protected by silence. But Elijah's arrest became a rallying cry. Legislation was drafted. Police reform bills named in Elijah's honor. Training protocols were rewritten, and Elijah? He took his pain and turned it into purpose. He started a foundation, the Carter Initiative, focused on empowering youth, holding officers accountable, and reforming systemic injustices. Chapter 5. Full circle. 2 years later, Elijah stood at the podium of a national summit on justice reform. He looked out at a sea of faces, young, old, Black, white, brown. My father once told me, he said, that courage isn't the absence of fear, it's the decision that something else matters more. I was scared that day, but today I stand not just as a survivor, but as a fighter. For every kid who walks down the street and is seen as a threat instead of a child in the back of the hall, alone and unnoticed, sat a former officer with tired eyes. Daniel Rourke, he didn't come for redemption. He came because he couldn't stop hearing Elijah's words. And in that moment, he realized the boy he had once tried to break was now the man helping rebuild what he had spent his life silently destroying. The end.